Bueno, ahora sí que lo he puesto a grabar, ¿eh? A ver si enseñan algo chido. Supongo que sí, que tengo muchas ganas de este puto juego. Vamos a ver. Gameplay y tráiler. Gameplay, por lo que han dicho, es de la última versión del juego, la versión en la que están ahora, digamos. Que no es Gold, pero creo que ya están puliendo solo bugs. El juego está terminado, digamos. Están puliendo bugs y supongo que... mejorando el tema de estabilidad y todo eso. Pero bueno, veremos tráiler y gameplay. Así que, a ver qué tal. Llevas 33 horas. Bueno, ya son, ¿eh? No sé cuánto dura, pero ya son 33 horas. Poca broma. Más de lo que duran muchos juegos. Más de lo que dura el de Last of Us 2, por ejemplo. Puede ser, puede ser. Bueno. Esto empieza ya. A ver. Vaya, y se para justo. Se está parando, no me gusta, ¿eh? Esto es el tráiler del E3. Toma ya.
Hello and welcome to this, the very first episode of Night City Wire, a brand new series from us at CD Projekt Red where we'll be talking about all things Cyberpunk 2077. For today's episode, we'll be starting with a brand new trailer. One of our developers will be joining us to help unpack everything you're going to see. We'll have some news, an announcement about a secret collaboration. We'll be taking a look at some braindance gameplay and welcoming back our developers just
Una colaboración
to have a chat
secreta,
about
¿eh?
everything you're going to see. But there is one more thing.
Sale en PS4, PS5, Xbox, la nueva Xbox y PC.
And when this episode finishes, you'll be able to go and check out exactly what they thought. So, let's get started.
A ver, PS5 tampoco. Pero va a haber una actualización.
And after that, our lead
Gratis.
quest designer Pavel Sasko will be joining us because I've got a feeling you're going to have a few questions after watching this. So,
Switch, no estaría mal, ¿eh? Dice que tendremos unas cuantas preguntas después de ver esto. In-game, es in-game. Me cago en mi puta vida. Me cago en mi puta vida, esto es in-game.
No, mano, not just any other city. Legends are born here. The major leagues. We're only here because Dex is pulling the strings. Doubt that puts us in the same league as them. But we are. They just don't know it yet. But if you got the cojones and you know how to use them, you can do damn near anything. Unless you catch a bull. Even then, you go out with a bang, right? You know, you can make heaps more eddies as a motivational speaker.
Yo, Mr. V, a pleasure.
So what's the gig, Dex? You meant to come out in one piece? How about we go over the plan?
There's this prototype tech, a biochip to be precise. Job's to grab it.
Guessing it belongs to a corp.
Arasaka.
We're robbing some heavy hitters.
Thought you could blackmail me, fucker?
High risk, high reward. First rule of the afterlife.
Ka-ching, baby.
Goes without saying, we do this on the hush. Ideally, no bodies, not a one.
Sounds simple enough.
Eat lead, assholes!
Is it gonna be dangerous?
Don't you worry, mi amor. We're bulletproof.
Get your ass moving now!
What the fuck just happened in there?
Can't stop digging Night City. Fucking major leagues. Happy now, Jackie?
Yep, that's fucking high! Time to bail!
Oh my god, we're so fucked.
Me cago en mi putísima vida, tío. Qué pedazo de tráiler, tú.
What the fuck? Can't risk it, V.
And you. Who are you?
Fuck.
So the trailer contains footage from the game's prologue only, but there was an
Es solo del
awful lot in
prólogo
it.
todo
So,
esto.
Pavel, why don't you try and help us unpack everything that we just saw?
Pero qué cojones,
absolutely,
tío.
I can try. So, what you have just seen is only the prologue of the game. So that
Solo el
awesome stuff is
prólogo.
only happening in the first few quests. What the
En las
trailer
primeras
showed
misiones,
you
o sea, esto
is
pasa en las
really
primeras misiones que hemos
our
visto.
stage, the Night City, you know, this gigantic city built of 6 completely unique districts, surrounded by the 7th one that we call the Badlands. As a player, you are meeting Jackie. Jackie is your friend. Now,
¿Qué
they together
cojones, tío?
are trying to reach out for something that is very precious. They are trying to reach out for this chip of immortality, this
Nada, que estamos tras la búsqueda del chip de la inmortalidad. Eso ya lo sabíamos.
Dexter Deshawn. He's a very important person in a social ladder of Cyberpunk. He is able to provide the player with various jobs and contracts to be able to gather money, to be able
Que Jackie, que
to
nuestro amigo, nos
modify
lleva
themselves to
a
the
conocer a
limits to put their hands on
un tío
the chip. But,
que nos
as you
da
can expect,
acceso a
not
diferentes
everything
misiones y
goes
tal.
planned, and, but to see it, you have to play the game.
Y que obviamente
There
pues
are
no todo
an awful
sale
lot of really
como está
cool
planeado.
things in this trailer, and there's a few that I would just love to talk about a little bit more for the people at home. So let's start with talking about a gang called the Mox. Now, we see a few flashes of them in this trailer. I personally think they're really cool and one of my favorites, but can you give us a little bit more
Hay un
information
montón de
about them?
bandas, ¿eh?
Oh yes, so the Mox is one of the gangs
Los
that
Monks
players
o algo
will
así.
interact with throughout the game. The Mox is the gang that has been formed in 2076 after death of Elizabeth Borden. She was called Lizzie. Now, she was an owner of
He entendido que se formaron en el 2076 tras la muerte de no sé quién. No me quedo con el nombre.
From abuse, and the gang is really continuing her mission. And as a player, you are going to interact with that.
Voy a hacer los vídeos aquellos que te dije tú, Tuki.
Different NPCs and craft your own relationship with them and
Estoy en
understand
ello.
what they are all about.
So earlier on, you did mention a 7th district, a place called the Badlands. Now, we saw a few
Un
shots
séptimo
of
distrito,
this in the trailer,
que son los
but I'd love
Badlands,
for you to give
digamos,
us a bit more detail
que es el
about the
desierto este que está
district outside
fuera
of
de
the
las
city walls.
ciudades.
Okay,
Está
so
fuera de la ciudad, quiero decir.
Badlands is this like dead, dried out space going around the whole Night City. And as a player,
Esto.
you'll be able to traverse that space in your car or motorcycle. This is a space that is inhabited by the nomads. Nomads are living in a different families,
Aquí están.
and they're traveling across the
Esto está habitado
space
por
in
los
convoys
Nomad
made
y
out of
cada. O sea,
cars and motorcycles.
el grupo está dividido
And
por
as a
diferentes
player, you'll be able to
familias,
traverse
digamos.
and access different type of open world content that has been prepared specifically for you to get that awesome feel of the Badlands as an area.
Hay misiones aquí
In
en
the
esta
trailer,
zona,
we
digamos.
also saw like a completely metal creature. Now, he didn't look like he was from the Maelstrom gang. This looked like something else. So please tell the people at home, who is this giant metal monster?
Okay, so that big dude, that was Adam Smasher. He has
Adam
been
Smasher.
introduced in pen and paper in Cyberpunk 2020 by our
¿Ya salía en el
senpai Mike
2020?
Pondsmith.
Pues no he leído nada de
Adam
este.
Smasher is a fully converted
Ya ponía
cyborg.
arriba, Morphy,
He
que es work in progress.
he was always a
El juego no es
loyalist
Gold
of
todavía.
Arasaka.
No es la versión
And
final.
time has changed, and in 2077 he had to find his own space in Night City. But to find out, you have to play the game.
In this trailer, we do see some flashes of a Ripper doc called Victor Vector. I think if people have watched our previous gameplays, they might remember him.
Este ha salido ya. Este nos mete chips y mierdas. Nos mejora, digamos.
And how they'll be interacting with them when they play Cyberpunk.
So, Reaper dogs in our game, they are surgeons. They are like a
Sí, son como
specific type of a
cirujanos,
job
digamos.
in the social ladder of
Pero
Cyberpunk.
clandestinos.
They are accustomed and specialized in replacing limbs.
¿Lo ves arriba? Work in progress. No representa la versión final del juego. Aquí nos meten los chips y todo esto. Dice que no hay uno, sino que hay varios de cirujanos de estos. Qué guapo, tío. Tiene como el arma aquí,
Thank
¿no?
you so much for joining us. I know you'll be back later in the episode because you're
Como los
going to
Santos
be
Customs,
helping us to
efectivamente.
analyze the Braindance gameplay. But before that, we do have some news to share. Earlier in the year, we announced that if you pick up Cyberpunk 2077 on Xbox One, you'll be able to play it on Xbox Series X. when
Nada, dice
the
que si
console
pillas el
launches.
juego
And
en
just in case you
Xbox
missed it, it will be
One,
the same for PlayStation players as well.
lo podrás
If you
jugar
pick
luego
up
en Xbox
Cyberpunk
Series X mejorado
2077
y harán lo mismo con Play
PlayStation
4.
you'll also be able to play it on
Si lo pillas en Play
PlayStation 5
4,
when
cuando
the console
tengas la Play
launches.
5 y metas el
And
juego,
that's not all. There will be a free upgrade for Xbox Series X and PlayStation 5, but we'll have more details on that soon.
Tonight's city.
Vale, dice que hay como una
Before we
actualización.
reveal our first look at the Braindance gameplay and welcome back our developers for a chat, there is just one more thing we want to announce. Something that we've been working on in secret for a while.
Algo que
We
en lo que
are
están
very
trabajando.
excited to announce our partnership with Studio Trigger and Netflix to bring you Cyberpunk Edgerunners, a standalone anime set in the Cyberpunk universe, which
Un
we've been
anime de
working on
Cyberpunk
for some time
en
now.
Netflix.
Edgerunners is due to launch in 2022, but for some
En
more
2022.
information, let's go to the team in Tokyo.
What the fuck?
Hi, my name is Saya Elder. I am the Japan-based producer for Cyberpunk Edgerunners. What I do basically on this project is that I am a fixer, to put it in the words of the Cyberpunk universe. We are a game company. We are a bunch of nerds, and wherever there are nerds, there's going to be anime fans. So it was always a dream for us to make anime. When we began this project, we were certain that we didn't want to make a recreation of the game. Cyberpunk Edgerunners is a standalone story set in the same universe. The stage is still Night City, but everything else is totally new. New characters, new story.
Vale, que estará ambientado en Night City igualmente, pero que será todo nuevo. O sea, personajes nuevos, todo.
And check Cyberpunk game and also the Cyberpunk genre as a whole.
Puede estar guay, ¿eh?
Right now we're in Nakano, which is one of the biggest
Son los
anime
mismos.
meccas of the world.
Pues mira.
I'm going to take you to Studio Trigger right now because we have the wonderful opportunity to talk to the dream team that will be bringing you this anime.
こんにちは。トリガーの代表取締役の
Los de
大
Trigger
塚です。
監督の今石です。
キャラクターデザインを担当する吉成です。
ゲームのサイバーパンクのファンの方、今回初めて触れる方、
Pero no es un anime roñoso, tío, es de Cyberpunk.
アニメを作るつもりで
Me
す。
jodas.
よろしくお願いします。
今回はそのサイバーパンクという僕らが10代の、一ファンにしか過ぎなかった頃に生まれた
No hace falta que traduzca, ¿no? Podéis
そうい
leer.
うジャンルのものをまた、時代が何周もして作れるという
Que están muy contentos de hacer esto, vaya.
トリガーも10年ということで、監督に今石、キャラクターデザインに吉成というトリガーの最強の布陣で、トリガー10
Que se
周
lo
年
están
にふさわ
currando
しい
mucho,
作
básicamente.
品にしていきたいと思います。お楽しみに。
Papá. 2022 es una pena, ¿eh? Pero, o sea, es una pena, quiero decir, hay que esperar todavía, pero...
Now it is time to
Va a molar,
show
va a
you some
molar.
gameplay of Braindance.
Gameplay.
This is a feature that you'll experience when you play Cyberpunk 2077. Braindance is essentially a recording of somebody else's experience. It allows you to relive their sense of sight, smell, touch, and even hearing, all thanks to a special device. After the gameplay, I will be welcoming back Pavel Sasko, and we'll also be joined by Patrick Mills, our senior quest designer and all-round lore master, who will be helping to answer your questions and give you some explanation on how you'll be interacting with Braindance when you play Cyberpunk 2077. So, let's take a look.
Plan simple. Do nothing odd. Don't get creative. You go in, snatch the cash, get out. And we sell the BD to those psycho freaks from the studio.
Got it.
And remember, everything on full blast. They'll spot us extra for a wicked adrenaline high. Okay, on you go.
Down, everybody, on the ground. I want to see you kissing the flooring. Money, now, or I will fucking drop you. I swear to God. Well, yeah, hey, now, before I blow your fucking head off. Ah!
Slow, deep breaths. Your cortisol and adrenaline spiked, but the
Ojo.
soft activated
Hostia.
your hormone blockers. Nothing happened.
Esta ya me cae bien, ¿eh?
You're alive and well.
Nuestra amiga Judy.
That was too much. Felt.
No te voy a mentir.
Feel the guy's pain, his stress, his
Se ve bastante fresca, ¿eh?
hope.
Nuestra amiga Judy.
Hope wrapped up in something else.
Mm-hmm. Probably took a booster just before. You'll be fine. Got everything set up? Let's switch over to editing mode.
Hay romances, hay romances. No son los romances ahí, podríamos decir, según tengo entendido.
I'll sever the link to the BD roller's sensory array.
Está bien jugar a un juego dentro de un juego, ¿eh?
Whole scene's yours. Full cam control in analysis mode, so move around, zoom in and out, whatever else you come up with. Think of it as your own little sandbox. So analysis
Está doblado al español, saldrá doblado, sí, sí. Y Keanu Reeves tendrá la voz de las pelis, digamos. Es el mismo doblador.
Try it.
Plan simple. Do nothing odd. Don't get creative. You go in, snatch the cash, get out, and we sell the BD to those.
Si habéis visto John Wick, por ejemplo, pues tendrá la misma voz.
Dream as hell, right? Well, that's not all. You can speed things up or rewind, whatever you like. Give it a try. Rewind, roll it back to the top.
Mírate John Wick, que también mola un huevo. Míratelas, míratelas.
All good, neat. Now try fast forwarding a bit.
Plan simple. Do nothing odd. Don't be creative. You go in, snatch the cash, get out.
Okay. You can also reset the recording. That'll take you right back to the beginning. Try it. Now for some fun. This here's why you came in the first place. In analysis mode, you get to view and even scan details of the enviro recorded by the BD roller. Focus on the heat, the gun this gonk gets from his buddy at the beginning. Now scan it.
Plan simple. Do nothing odd. Don't get creative. You go in, snatch the cash, get out, and we sell the BD to cycle freaks. And remember,
Okay, right here. Excellent. Let's move on. Now heads up. In analysis mode, you can ferret out background noise and conversations if the roller got close enough. This tech records everything, every little detail, even the sights and sounds the roller was never aware of. To see the sources of the recorded sensory signals, switch to the audio layer in the editor. Go ahead and try that now. Okay, good. Now you should see several sound signatures in the store. Choose one and hone in on it.
Pack of 6, case of Brosif, and a couple of zappers.
Okay, we have a deal today on 2 flavors, Cuddy and Surf and Turf. Everybody, on the...
So, any thoughts?
Unbelievable. Seriously, like what's happening right next to me.
Yeah, it's how BD recording implants work. They pick up everything.
Es un implante esto del brain dance, vale. Es lo que no entendía, si es un implante o qué. Joder, se me ha tenido el curro, ya ves. Ya ves.
Sometimes you can analyze extra layers in the raw, stuff the roller's cyberware picked up.
Like what?
Ev's got Kiroshi optics that grab infrared, meaning you should be able to grab heat signatures from her recording.
Huh. Hella nice.
Scanning works on peeps, too. Walk up to the wounded chick. Try scanning her. Alright, next thing. Scroll forward to the part where our artist gets a lead injection.
Or I will fucking drop you, I swear to God! Well, now, fucking head off!
See that? They
Toma ya.
shot him and he never saw it coming. But
¿Y quién le disparó?
Here it comes. My favorite part of the game. See the blinking thing over the entrance? Surveillance cam. Must have caught our shooter.
¿Podemos meternos en la cámara?
You'll see in a sec. Cam feeds to the screen behind the clerk. Roll back to where the screen's in the kid's field of vision, then scan it.
Qué fuerte, tú. Qué guapo.
His own chumba shot him. Probably planned to all along. Must have got a nice slice of cred on the black market for a BD like this.
Le disparó el mismo que le daba el arma.
Freaks are ready to pay a preem for a real flatline. Anyway, if you've seen enough, you can exit.
Yeah, it's impressive, right? It's too bad most of the BDs we do here are only good for flogging the log.
So Braindance is a pretty big part of the Cyberpunk universe. It's not just something used for adult films. There is an awful lot to it. And there's 2 sides I'd like you guys to help me explore. First is the lore. So how this actually fits into the universe, and then
Ha dicho
there's
que
the
se usa
gameplay
para
side, so how
películas
players
de
will be
adultos.
interacting with it. So Patrick, could you
El
tell us
brain
more
dance
about
este.
the lore of brain dance?
I
O
would
el
love
lore
to.
del braindance.
So in the world of Cyberpunk 2077, braindance was invented way back in the early 2000s at UC Santa Cruz. It was developed as a way of recording a person's experiences and then
Vale.
playing them back for someone else, so
Vale.
that they could relive them as though it was happening to them.
Vale, es como una
It was
especie de
originally used
Animus,
for things
esto,
like
de Assassin's
therapy
Creed.
and prisoner rehabilitation, but by 2077 it's become this global media industry, including things like movies, mass entertainment, things like that, video games, some interactive things, and of course adult fare as well. Now, in our game, we deal a lot with black brain dances, or XBDs as we call them, and there are different types of those, but the one that you saw in the trailer just there was a flatliner. Now that's where the person recording it actually dies during the recording, and it's popular with sort of an illicit kind of a thrill, but a mercenary can also use them for various things, and you'll see that in the game, of course.
And from the gameplay perspective, we have been working a lot throughout last years trying to figure out the best way how to use the brain dance in the game as a mechanics. So
Vale, o sea que parece que se podrá usar bastante
as a player, you will be able to run the brain dance
para
in
hacer
the editor mode and
según
see
qué misiones y tal.
different clues that have been registered on the peripheral of given actor. Now, as a player, you can slide on the timeline of the recording, back and forth, trying to uncover different clues. And that clues are actually telling a story in the game. So, as a player, you will run different investigations that will lead you to different mysteries, and you will uncover them actually using that brain dance as a mechanics in the game.
So, as Pavel was saying,
habrá varias misiones de
brain dance as a
investigación
storytelling
como
tool.
esta.
It's not a collectible. It's not something where you're going to go in and you're going to play it and you're going to be like, I've seen this before. What we use brain dance for is to give you a keyhole into the life of the residents of Night City, and we can explore things like childhood trauma, religion, various philosophical
Claro,
ideas
al meternos
in a way that you might
en
not
la
otherwise
piel de
experience
otra
in a story
persona con
about
este
a
implante,
mercenary on the tough streets.
So we've tried
pues pueden
to
explorar
talk
diferentes
about
temas,
some of the
vaya,
aspects
como
that
yo
we
que sé,
think the
traumas
community will find
infantiles,
really exciting, but, you
cosas
know,
filosóficas,
while
según
you're
han
both
dicho.
here, I'd love to know, what is it about Cyberpunk that you guys are really excited for? Patrick, why don't you start?
So one of the things that I'm most excited about in this game is the characters and the way they interact with the world. We've got this really interesting world that stretches all the way back to the Cyberpunk 2020 source
Lo de la
material
luz, tío,
and all of
me
these events
flipa,
and all
¿eh?
those things. But those don't mean anything unless they connect with characters. And so when we come up with a character, we start with their function. What is this person? What do they do in the story? But we don't stop there. We go back and we figure out what was their childhood like, what was their upbringing like.
¿Qué hablas?
What kind of obstacles did they face in this
Parece
harsh
que,
reality, and
que
did they
cada
overcome
personaje
them, and how did they
o sea,
overcome
tiene
them,
toda
or
su
did they not
historia,
overcome them, and
tipo,
why?
desde
And you
la
can
infancia
see
y
all
todo,
of those things
para que
in
lo
their
tienen en cuenta
environment, in their dialogues,
para crear
in sort of how they operate in the world.
Para crear el personaje.
And we come up with that for all of our characters. Now you look at someone like
Todos.
Victor
Ojo,
Vector, and you're going to see stories about his past in his environment and in his dialogue. You know, we come up with that stuff even if we don't use it in the game because it helps inform us as to who these characters are.
Pero dice que igual cosas no las usan en el juego, pero que les ayudan a ellos a crear los personajes. Y a cómo hablan, qué dicen, cómo es su entorno,
like
todo.
With our Witcher 3 team, with Patrick and like everybody that has stayed with us since the Witcher 3 time, we really have grown so much. We have learned
Dice que
so
han crecido
much,
mucho y que han aprendido mucho desde The Witcher
all that
3.
experience to put them into the quest that we have made. And you will not find really a filler in this game. Like everything has a meaning. Like we put so much effort into
Dice que se han esforzado un montón en que todo tenga un sentido. Y que todo es interesante, que aunque sea hablar con gente y hablar sobre personas o lo que sea, pues que sea significativo, vaya.
And I just can't wait to find out what you think.
Pavel, I know you mentioned story and quests and writing quests, and when I was last in the studio, I had
Era tocho, parece,
en
este aspecto.
on your desk, and I would love for you to show everybody this notebook.
Okay, Holly, I mean, you asked for it. So this is my notebook. It says Salsa Quest Designer.
Salsa Quest Designer.
I done salsa, and I'm a quest designer. So I started this notebook
Lo tengo
actually
comprado
when
ya,
we were
sí.
really starting Cyberpunk. At the very beginning, I wrote like a first note, and it says, pretty much something along the lines of that we're starting with a prototype. And then, you know, I kept on basically noting things that we've been working on.
Porque lo tiene todo tachado, este hombre.
I remember once when our concept artists actually approached me and they said that they want to take a look on my notebook. And I was like,
no juego al Cyberpunk en Play ni loco. Ni loco.
Yeah, well, you know, because we are looking for a reference material for notes of a psychopathic killer.
Nosotros no veremos nada, pero él tampoco.
So, yeah, well, you may find maybe some of my notes.
Un montón de notas, ¿eh?
In the game.
Dice que igual encontramos algunas notas suyas en el juego.
Pavel and Patrick, thank you so much for joining me. I'm pretty lucky because I have read some of the stories that you and the team have written for Braindance, and I'm pretty excited for people to discover them. But before we do finish today's episode, there is just one more thing we'd like to talk about.
One more thing.
Earlier in this episode, I mentioned that media have been getting hands-on with the opening of Cyberpunk 2077, and they should be posting their impressions right about now. And if you missed anything from today's episode, don't worry, we'll be uploading everything to our channels very soon.
Vale, por lo visto habrá más capítulos de esto,
finally, on behalf of everybody at CD Projekt Red, we just want to say thank you so much for joining us for this, the very first episode of Night City Wire. But don't worry, we'll be back with episode 2 in just a few weeks. So, we shall see you soon.
En unas cuantas semanas hay episodio 2. De aquí a noviembre tienen un montón de tiempo, vaya. Vale, guay. Pues sí, yo ya lo tengo comprado en GOG, Gerard. Así que... Ha estado bastante